Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I hope you're having a lovely day, lovely week, wherever you're watching from. And yeah, I hope it continues to be so. Today, I'd like to talk about beyond mind or going beyond mind and the nature of consciousness beyond mind. Right? Life is full of ups and downs. Life is full of you know rainy days, right? There is the good, of course, and there is the bad, right? And in many cases, we get so focused on the bad, we forget the good, and sometimes we get so focused on the good and we forget the bad. But there is this blend about life that really balances everything, right? And that's just life, and it's okay to take things as they come and not to hold on to them. Right? It's okay to anticipate, right? And prepare for the bad that may come. Nothing wrong with that. And it's also okay to prepare and anticipate the good, right? Because remember, we are living in a sphere, we are living in a space. Even society, it's always pushing you to go for the good, the good, the good. You want a better car, you want a better job, you want better money, you want better relationships, and it's always this, always following better, 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 which is not bad at the moment, or in any case rather. Only that we must always remember, as we are looking for better, the opposite of the better is also looking for us, right? This is not to scare you, but this is just the reality of things, right? There is a saying in a Zambian language. It says, it goes like, well, ngatunkala pamushe po I'm sorry, ngatunkala. It's another language, so I'm just trying to see how I can translate it. Ngatunkala pamushe po ipapaitana, meaning if you're in a better situation, uh, uh, um, the opposite of that situation is calling, or if you're in a better situation, uh, the bad of that situation is calling. All right. So, which is true, because we cannot just be focused on one idea of what we think life is. There is a good and there is a bad, and we must be like conduits through which these states pass through. Now, when you're considering mind, right? When you're considering consciousness is like the blue sky, right? It's the blue sky, and the blue sky passes through or goes through these states, right? So sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it's windy, sometimes it's just chill, it's just neutral, Sometimes it's just another extreme, and sometimes it's stormy, but sometimes there's just a calm, yeah. That's the idea of mind. Mind will go through these states. Sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're nonchalant, sometimes you just whatever. But the consciousness experiences those states. Yeah, consciousness looks upon those states. It is aware of those states, but itself not really blending with those states. And that's the idea I want to bring forth. You must get to such a level of mind where you realize that you might be experiencing hate, but you do not let yourself be that hate. You might be experiencing pain, but you do not let yourself be that pain. Because there is this idea in society where people go through these traumas, right? But they allow themselves to identify with those traumas, and they let those traumas become them. But that's not how you must live life. You must let yourself experiences and let them go. This is why I love the stoic way of living life. in as much as most people would regard it as you're not being serious with the weight of the situation, you're actually being serious with the weight of the situation, but you're not allowing the weight of the situation to control your next move, right? So that's how you have to live life, right? Life is full of all these states, but you must allow yourself these states to move through you and not become you. All right. So experience the joy, but look at it. Be aware of the joy, right? Experience the pain. Be aware of the pain. Experience the nonchalance. Experience whatever it is that you might be going through, right? Experience the lethargy, right? Experience all that. Be aware of all that, but do not allow yourself to be that. Because when we do not know the happenings of mind, when we do not know the workings of mind, we get so engrossed in these states and we become them, and they become our identities, and before we know it we start asking ourselves, how did I get here? Because you are so engrossed in the state. The state is not you. Always remember that the state is not your identity. It is a state. Today it will be here, tomorrow it will be not. Alright, so you have to allow yourself to go through these states, without becoming engrossed in the state. So that is how you live beyond mind. That is how you live in the nature of the I am, in the nature of the all-encompassing, all-knowing, omniscient, omnipresent, never-changing I am. Alright, this ubiquitous energy is never changing. There are states within it, but itself will never change, because it is looking upon those states and realizing that they are not it. And you must realize that you are not the pain, you are not the hurt, you are not the loss, you are not the gain, you are not that, right? Your true nature is I am, right? You are not the joy. You see that you are not the joy, you are not the pain, you're not the love, you're not the hate. You are I am experiencing these states, right? Because like that you will be beyond whatever goes through your life, right? You'll be beyond whatever happens in your life. You'll be a master of your life, because you're not allowing yourself to be engrossed in these states. You're not allowing yourself to be unified with these states, whether ups or downs. So that is how you live beyond mind. But you can only get to these levels of understanding when you meditate. Meditation, you begin to learn yourself in meditation. Meditation is not about just being quiet and just ruminating over something. No. In meditation, the deeper you go in meditation, you begin to learn your own ideas, or you begin to learn your own workings of the mind. And when you know yourself, the truth about knowing yourself is that you begin to know everyone. That's the beauty about knowing yourself. When the old philosophers, when the old sages of old, when they say, know thyself. In knowing thyself, you begin to know humanity, you begin to know nature, you begin to know every working of life, because you're part of that. Right? You are just a fraction of that whole working system, and in knowing your workings, your inner workings, you begin to know the whole. Right? So that is what meditation does. It begins to teach you, begin to learn about yourself. You begin to learn about this being existing within this flesh and blood you live in. Right? So make meditation a daily practice. Make it a part of your life, and you'll be amazed what you learn. You'll be amazed what you find out. All right. So I just wanted to share this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and put in the comments what you would like me to cover next. And see you next time. Thanks.